Well, let's go and move along. And as the pandemic squeezed the balance sheets of businesses and households, one area which didn't fall as much as feared was charitable grants. New data from Equity Trustees reveals more than $90 million was made available to charities during 2020. To discuss it, Jodi Kennedy joins us from Equity Trustees via Skype. Jodi, fantastic to go and join us. Thank you for being here. We've had a unique year, that's going to say the least, in 2020. We had a lot of money, though, flowing into both business and household bank accounts. That may have gone and helped you out in the year. Is that correct?
Yes, Hans, thanks for having me. Yes, we have seen an increase in giving overall, yes, and I think more importantly, we've seen a groundswell of passionate people really stepping up to the call to help out as best that they could.
All right, talk us through some of the difference in numbers between states. From your notes, it says New South Wales numbers were up, Victoria and Queensland down. Why is that?
Yeah, look, traditionally we see giving fairly stable across all of the different states, but this year, financial year 2020, we really saw a big spike in New South Wales, where traditionally Queensland and Victoria would have taken a larger proportion of our overall giving. We literally think that comes from first of all, bushfires. So if you think back to where the bushfires impacted, a lot of those communities are based in New South Wales. So a lot of people stepped up to the call and really made sure that they were supporting organisations to help those communities build back.
Jodi, let's go and chat about some of the individual grants that we can go and talk about. What were some of the notable ones that you saw over the course of the year?
Oh, look, difficult question, Hans. We've seen some incredible grants. Look, I think what's different this year to other years is that we've been granting to a much wider diversity of types of grants. So traditionally we would have given to a lot of different programs, but in FY20 we really actually gave a lot of what we would call untied funding. And that's money that goes back into the sector. So what we saw from 2020 with the impact of both the bushfires and COVID is that the charities themselves delivering services to the Australian community needed help. And so because of the great spike in demand, sometimes those grants were really simple things like more food to provide in emergency. It might have been new things like technology. So the ability of our not-for-profit organisations to work remotely through COVID and to provide services online. So a lot of money went to things like that, and there were some fantastic grants made, but also it went to keeping the lights on for a lot of amazing organisations who've never found themselves in this situation before.
Jodi, what about international funding? Was there a difference there this year on money coming from overseas?
Look, going overseas was largely stable, the amount of money that went out year on year over the last 3 years. But what we did see was there was a shift from money that was given in the past by state going to national entities. And again, that's linked to the bushfires, because when you think about the main organisations that received the lion's share of the funding, they were national entities. So we haven't seen a real change domestic to international, but we have seen a shift from state-based to national-based responders.
And Jodi, once the stimulus ends here locally, the JobKeeper, JobSeeker, do you think that you'll see a downtick in those donations?
Look, hopefully we don't see a downtick in donations. What we are going to see, though, is a real increase in pressure on the sector. So the stimulus packages have been fantastic in helping to get the sector through this period, but what we're actually going to see is that the rubber's going to hit the road, and a lot of, certainly the smaller to medium-sized not-for-profits that we work with are telling us that they're going to find it very, very difficult in FY21 and 22. So because of the huge impact on income that they've been receiving, either through fundraising or income from foundations and trusts, they're really going to find this a tough year. And so we're hoping and working with all of our donors to step up and actually start giving more so that we can keep as many of those incredible charities afloat as we possibly can.
Jodi, just to go and finish off, when it comes to ways that people can go and get involved in this process and this movement, how can they do that?
Look, I think the best advice I can give is to just, if you do have the means to give and you've been thinking about it and would like some assistance, just put your hand up and pick up the phone, have a look at the giving review that we published recently. There's a lot of insights and ideas and tips on best practice around funding the charitable sector, and just give us a call. We are very, very happy to help anyone who reaches out to us, and we're here, and it doesn't have to be a complicated proposition. act now is my main piece of advice to people. Please, please help if you can.
Jodi, fantastic chat. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.